Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. I'm bringing you some special astrological messages just for your sign. These messages are going to be now through mid-August. Okay, so now through mid-August, August 15th, they're saying. So we're going to break it down, fire signs, into each of your signs. I have already prayed over the cards, shuffled them, asked that each of you receive at least one message. The angels are very excited to talk to you today because when I started praying and shuffling the cards right out the gate, they started popping out. So as they were popping out, I just laid them down. For those of you that are interested in the cards, we're using the Akashic Tarot today. Messages from the guides, Gateway Oracle cards, the Soul's Journey Lessons cards, and the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. So you should find at least one message for you in these. If you find that something or that you don't have anything resonating, go ahead and listen to your moon or your rising signs. You may find something in those, but do keep in mind this is for a large number of people. So again, if not here, check one of your other signs. Now, next week I will not be doing a weekly reading. I have family, friends coming in from out of town, so won't be doing those, but hey, this is going to give you a lot of detail, so hopefully this will get you by until I come back in a couple weeks. So, and many thanks to everyone. Thank you for those who have subscribed. We're getting closer to 15,000 subscribers. Thank you for all of your comments. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. I do really appreciate all of your support. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Who's first? Okay. Aries. Let's see what you have. And I'm going to have these positioned so that you should be able to see them fairly clearly. Let's see here. Let me stand up. Okay. Oh, close. Fairly close. Okay. So, Aries, let's see. So you have your central issue. What is it you're refusing to see or refusing to acknowledge? And then what the angels are recommending that you do in order to make it to the other side of this situation or make it through this. You have two cards for your central issue. The first is the Earth Keeper. Now, this card, it's all about creating the world, creating the life that we desire. You know, creating, manifesting what we want. And not only manifesting the life that we desire, but also maintaining it, caring for its well-being. This sometimes for some can talk about, caring for their health. But this is also about, allowing ourselves to dream big, to not limit ourselves, to not put ourselves in a box, to not think that we are less deserving. So for many of you, you are trying to venture out. You are trying to go in a new direction. As Allie's sitting here and she keeps smacking my arm like she's not going to stop until she gets my attention. Many of you, this new beginning, this new venture that you've been thinking about doing, this new direction, it's like nagging. It's over and over and over and over, and it's not leaving your thoughts. It's constantly in your thoughts. You're wanting to do it. It's just that desire that's just not going away. But the thing is, you have the coyote. And the coyote is the trickster. The coyote brings deception and lies and trickery and deceit and chaos. But oftentimes, that comes to us because it's actually a positive thing, because it's trying to help us free ourselves from a toxic situation or a toxic relationship that we are not meant to be in, or that's not good for us. But the thing is, it's typically a lesson, something that we're supposed to learn, but it's a very confusing lesson. Like, it doesn't make sense because, again, coyote's deceptive. You think things are one way, but they're really another way. So you're in this situation, you want to uproot, you want to go in a new direction. Many of you are doubting yourselves. There is a lot of confusion, you have a lot of fear, you have a lot of worry, like how's this going to turn out? Some of you, you have a coworker or a family member or someone that's adding to the confusion. Many of you because they don't want you to go in that new direction. So maybe say you're wanting to literally relocate, you're wanting to move, but you've got this person trying to keep you from doing that. And many of you, you're just trying to keep things the status quo, you're trying to keep them as they have been, you're trying to keep the peace. Like, if you can see in this card, she has her feathers over top of the earth, like she's protecting the earth. So you're just trying to protect things. You're just trying to keep things stable and peaceful and calm. Some of you may be the peacemaker at work, at home. But the thing that you're refusing to acknowledge or see, because oftentimes when we're going through times of transition that aren't necessarily easy or have extra drama and difficulties with them, you know, we may just not want to see things. We may not want to deal with it because, it's just a headache. But you have setting your course. And this really is about setting your course, looking forward. He's got this magnifying glass. He's looking to the future. This is about broadening our horizons. This is about truly jumping in and sailing in a new direction. Back again to the same thing of just not limiting ourselves. You know, the sky's the limit. There's anything that you can do. You don't have any limitations. You don't have any blocks. You don't have anything keeping you where you are. You don't have to keep the status quo. You are destined and fated for something better. But knowing that you have unlimited opportunities ahead of you, and positive opportunities, because you have this rainbow, and at the end you have this pot of gold. But next to that you have this Knight of Swords, and at the bottom it says drama. And you see he's got the sword. He's like ready to do battle. This really is about stress and drama and strife and manipulation. It's opposition. It can be an opposition at home. It can be at work. It can be coworkers. It can be family. But it's someone that's presenting a challenge, someone that's presenting difficulties. So you want to move forward. You want a new opportunity. They're like, no, no, you can't do that. So maybe for someone, maybe you do want to move. And maybe you've got a parent or sibling or someone that's just doing everything they can to stop you. But if you look, he's on a horse, they're on a ship. They're not on the same path. So for many of you, this is not someone that's going to be with you in that future. They're saying it's different for everyone. Some of you are moving, some of you changing careers, some of you could just be some big project that you're spearheading. It doesn't have to be massive, uprooting changes in life, but you're wanting to move forward, you're wanting to go in a new direction. It is going to be positive. But many of you are not moving in that direction because you've got this person that's causing conflict, that's making you doubt whether or not you'll be successful. But they want you to know you will be successful. Now, as far as what the angels are recommending that you do, you have cherishing self. At the bottom it says, I accept and love myself. And if you look in here, there's a plate for one. And there's champagne, there's coffee, there's truffles, a little gift, and some roses. The angels are encouraging you as you're making this decision to think about what it is that you desire. Remove others from the equation. Don't allow their thoughts and their views to impact your decision, to impact your outcome, to keep you stuck where you are. Because they're saying you are deserving of this. Because for many of you, this change, this is going to be kind of like a gift for you. And some of you have started to doubt that because there has been a lot of conflict with you trying to make this. The person that tries to stop you is very abrasive. Some of you, they're saying very argumentative, but it's just because that person's also not happy with their life. So they're not happy, so they don't want you to be happy. For some, if it's a coworker, it could be someone that maybe they're not feeling as confident in their work. So maybe you're venturing on this new project or something, and they don't want you to have more success than them, to show them up. So they try to stop you. But they want you to do what's best for you. Care for yourself. Allow yourself to have this new opportunity and to focus on what is best for you. It's best for you to have this nice fine meal. It's best for you to have flowers, to care for yourself. And now for some of you, this could be also caring about your health. But for majority of you, this is a new beginning, new opportunity, going in a totally new direction. But that's the new direction that's best for you. That is where it is going to be very abundant. It is going to be very blessed. There are going to be treasures, and they're saying a tremendous amount of abundance, not just financial abundance, just abundance of joy and happiness and pleasure. And also for some of you, like relaxation. Maybe you're changing careers, and once you get into this new career, get settled down, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I love this. Going to work isn't a chore. It's not something I, dread doing, but I love it because it's very rewarding. It's like a gift. But do what is best for you. Now, the next card is follow the golden rule. Now, typically this is doing unto others as you would like them to do unto you. But, okay. So, for those of you that this is a difficult person, they're saying you have tried killing this person with kindness. You've been very kind, you've been very amicable, you have swayed to their every wish for you, their every desire for you. Even though they may have made it appear that it's for your best interest, it's really not. They're the coyote. They're not being clear. It's been very confusing. So they're saying that you need to set boundaries with this person, because when Jesus was here, he was very kind, he was very loving, but when he would get pushed to the point, he would stand up for himself, he would stand up for others. He was like, enough is enough. That's where some of you are at. This person that has been trying to block you, to stop you, that's been very difficult, argumentative. For some of you, this has been a lesson for you to set boundaries. It's not to have a heated, hurtful, angry, hate-filled conversation, to have a conversation that's coming from a place of love, but to let them know that, hey, I am doing what is best for me. I am doing what is best for my family. I appreciate your input, but I'm going to proceed forward in a direction that is best for me, and I ask that you just back down and respect that. Because it really is. They're saying it's you need to lay the ground rules. The ground rules. You need to lay the boundaries. You need to let them know. Because for some of you, they have really stepped on and trampled on your boundaries. And for literally, that's the lesson, is to set boundaries. Because sometimes it's very difficult. So say this is a parent. Maybe it's a father. Because knights are typically young people. But just because they are not maybe physically young, they are very young souls. So sometimes we can have a parent that's behaving immaturely, but they're doing so from a selfish reason, because they don't want to see us move, or they don't want to see us leave. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, he's physically young. But maybe it's a parent, and maybe you're like, oh my gosh, but I love my dad. I don't want to upset my dad. Or I love my brother. I don't really want to upset them. But at some point, this is your life. And for some of you, this is a lesson in your life too. No matter how much you love someone, you still have to do what's best for you. And it's laying boundaries in a loving, compassionate way, but to be firm in those boundaries, to lay those ground rules with compassion, with love, but to still do what is best for you. Now, the last thing is they are encouraging you this month. There's two sides. So for many of you, they're encouraging you to just go do something that's going to make you laugh, that's going to lift up your spirits, lift up your vibration, because some of you have been brought down so much by this change you're trying to make, that it's just been very difficult, that it's really dropped your spirits all around. So they're encouraging you to go do something that's going to be fun, something that's going to make you laugh. Go to a comedy club, go watch a funny movie, a funny sitcom, go out to dinner with friends and laugh. And for others of you, they are encouraging you to actually look at the humorous, rise above and be able to look at it. Because the angels have they have a sense of humor. They really do. And sometimes we as humans here on earth, like, things feel really heavy and we just can't look at the humor in it. But they're saying for some of you, there's actually a little bit of humor in this. And if you can find that bit of humor in it, ask your angels and guides to help you see that. It's going to help you overcome it a little bit more. Because if you look at this card, he's looking in the direction he's blocking him. So if you can kind of see, that's the humor, okay, then it's going to make it a little easier for you to just rise above and go right over him. Go right over that roadblock. It's not a mountain that's blocking you. It's an anthill. Because they're saying that there is some humor, there is some irony in it. And when you can see that, it is going to make it easier for you. It's not as heavy for some of you. Now, granted, some of you it may be heavy, but they're saying for some of you it's not really as heavy as you feel. It's just because it is, for some of you, very emotionally charged. It's made it feel way, way heavier. So, hopefully that helps all of you, Aries. And now we are moving on to Leo. Okay. Okay. Leo, like the others, the cards are very close, so I shouldn't have to lift them all up, which will speed up some time. Oh, speaking of time, if any of you would be kind enough to put the timestamps below, I would appreciate it, because I will not have time to go back and listen to everyone's readings and timestamp them. Okay, so let's see here. You have your central issue, what it is you're refusing to acknowledge or see, and then what the angels are recommending that you do in order to make it to the other side of this, to get through this situation. Now, you have the lower world and the middle world. So for many of you, this is like a total transformation. Now, the lower world, this is about hidden treasures, the things that are beneath the surface. You know, oftentimes when we have things about ourselves that we don't like, we will bury those things down deep. You know, if we decide that, okay, I don't like the fact that, I will make a commitment and not keep it, or that I might be late to things, so I'm going to like disown that part of myself, so I'm going to bury that down deep so I don't have to look at it, because I don't like that. So oftentimes when there are things about ourselves that we don't like, we will bury those things down deep. But we all have things about ourselves that we don't like. It's coming to that point of loving ourselves, everything about ourselves. But some of you have some things about yourselves that you don't like, that you have tucked away. Because it's also being tucked away in our subconscious. Because again, if we don't like it, we don't want to face it, we don't want to think about it, we will bury it down deep in our subconscious so that it just doesn't pop up. Bad thing about that does suck away our personal power and can make us feel small. So for some of you, you have, I don't know if you can see it, there's this heart right there. So some of you, because of a relationship or someone that you really valued and loved, because it doesn't always have to be a lover that makes us feel bad about ourselves or that makes us feel small. It can also be a parent or a family member, or it could be someone that was very close, like a best friend, that's someone that just really broke our heart. But some of you, you had someone really just break your heart. And you have been feeling not good about yourself. You've been feeling small. You've been feeling, some of you have, it's as though your power has been taken from you. And some of you, you have kind of tucked away your heart. Some of you have gone into like a hermit mode. Because of what happened to you, you've gone into your shell. You've gone into your shell, you've gone into your cave, and you just really haven't been coming out. But you're at this point of shifting. You're at this point of coming out of your cave. Because the middle world, this is all about our day-to-day reality. It's about being in the moment, being in the now. It's also letting us know that, there's going to be a favorable outcome because the heavens are in alignment with the things that we're manifesting here on earth. So it is good. It is time to move forward. It will be favorable. It will be positive. Things will, you've got these spirals on both sides. Things will truly turn around. Things will truly transform. So many of you, you are in this state of big transformation where you are coming out. Okay, so they're saying for some of you, you do need to come out and start to live again. Some of you, it's coming out. Because for some of you, this has been like a spiritual awakening thing where you've been going from one level to another level spiritually. You did have to go inward. You were being the hermit. You were learning. You were discovering. You were growing. You were doing your healing work. But now you're good. Now it's time for you to resurface. It's time for you to start laying a firm foundation. And for some of you, this is a foundation. Could be work-wise, could be doing a spiritual practice. For some of you, it's just also preparing the soil, tilling the soil, preparing to build a firm foundation in the future in love. Something that will grow, something that will be firmly rooted. Now, as far as what's, you're not wanting to see, you're not wanting to acknowledge as you're going through this change, many of you have been in your head quite a bit because you see there's no one in these two cards. She's alone, and she's alone up, and she's asleep on top of the moon. This is Five of Scrolls. It's diversity. It's a Swords card. So you have been in your mind a lot. You've been thinking a lot. You've been contemplating a lot. This card is all about, it is time to diversify. It's time to shake things up. It's time to do something new. It's time to try something new. It's time to go to new places. It's time to meet some new people, make some new friends. Time to learn something new. Time to step out of our norm. Because if you look at this card, she has all these scrolls on this table beside her. And she's got this scroll that's opened up and she's overlooking the valley with all the other homes and stuff. And then she's got all these books sitting here. But she's just been indoors on her own, learning, reading, growing on her own. Looking out at the world, but not being in the world. And then you've got the moon. And at the bottom it says Angel of Dreams. And this is, illusion, subconscious. It can be intuition, confusion, doubt. So many of you, because you have been in your shell for a very long time, or because you have been inside doing a lot of spiritual work and growth and development, you are in a state of fear and hesitation of stepping out into the world again. Because for some of you, you truly have changed. So you're like, okay, well, the people that I used to hang out with, I don't enjoy the same things, or I'm not in the same activities. So, how am I even going to spur a conversation with them? But you see how beautiful this valley is? It's beautiful. There's flowers all over, sunshine, the clouds are going away. And she's gorgeous. Look at all these flowers up in her hair. She's beautiful. Who would not want to hang out with her? Who would not want to date her? She's a bombshell. You have not been wanting to go out and venture out of fears, out of worry, doubting how it's going to go. Also, not wanting to open up. The water is all about emotion. So for some of you, you've been fearful of opening up. You've been fearful of sharing the deepness, sharing your truth. Because you have evolved. You have gone, for a large number of you, this is actually a spiritual thing. You have grown, you have evolved. It is time for you to resurface. It's time for you to allow yourself to blossom, to grow, to flourish. You will have success. But it's time to allow yourself to start doing things in a new way. You want to do things in a new way. You're ready to, but you're torn. You're torn because you're like, okay, what if it doesn't go well? Or, how am I going to meet new people? Or how am I going to start in this new work, this new practice? So for some of you, maybe you're wanting to start doing some spiritual work. Maybe you're wanting to do readings or something. You know what? You can offer to do me a reading, but just start with little things of, hey, reach out to some of your friends or family. I'd like to do a reading. I'd like to practice. I'd like to do this. I feel I've got this strong intuition. I want to use that. Or for some, it doesn't even have to be that you're going to be doing a spiritual practice. It's just, you're this new person. You're spiritually awakened. You are loving yourself again. You are loving all of yourself, because for a long time you didn't love all of yourself. You have healed your heart. You're ready to move forward on all areas of life, from love to work to stepping. For many of you, it really is stepping into your purpose. Many of you, it is something tied to a spiritual calling. But you're ready. But you haven't taken that leap of faith yet. Now, what the angels are recommending that you do, you have listening with your heart, and at the bottom it says, I trust the messages I receive from my heart. You are getting a lot of intuitive guidance, a lot of intuitive messages. Angels are encouraging you, listen to those, trust those. And if you're fearful, start trusting the little things, because that's going to build your confidence. So as you take action on the little things, or maybe you're getting intuitive guidance, maybe as you share the smaller bits of intuitive guidance with people, and then they're like, oh my gosh, you're so correct. Oh, you're spot on. That's going to build your confidence, and like, oh wow, okay, I am hearing things right. I'm not all up in my head. I'm not losing it. I really am getting this intuitive information, because you are. We're all intuitive beings. And you have opened up tremendously. But trust that. Listen to that. Also listen to that inner knowing, because you are being guided to do something new. Totally step out new. For some of you, it really is just meeting new people, trying some new things to see, what do you enjoy, what do you not enjoy. Some of you, it is something a little bit bigger, like stepping into a whole new type of work, career, starting a new business. But trust that, listen to that, follow that. Then you have the card, like attracts like. Okay, so coming back to this dichotomy, this polar opposite thing. So you got one way and opposite, one way and the opposite. So you got the white wolf, then you've got the dark, shadowy gray wolf. So for some of you, you're ready for love. You're like, I'm ready to get there, I'm ready for love. But we will attract where we are energetically. So for some of you, you're like, okay, I'm ready for love. I want that, but you're not leaving your house. You're not having fun. You're not enjoying life. And then you're like, okay, well, why am I not meeting anyone? Well, God wants to bring you someone, but if you don't want to be with the mailman or the UPS man, you need to get out of your house so you can meet someone new. So we will energetically attract where we are. So right now you're still in hermit mode, but you can't meet someone if you're in hermit mode. You want to meet someone who you can enjoy life with, you can go out and enjoy life with, you can have new adventures with, you can go hiking and mountain climbing and enjoying the outdoors, maybe go kayaking. You want that, but you're not doing any of that right now. So to attract the type of relationship, partnership that you want, the first step is to get yourself into that state, to be what it is that you're seeking. So if you're seeking someone so that you can go do those outdoor adventures, get online, join a meetup where people like to go. So we've got this thing, meetup.com, in the area where I am, but you can select all your little activities, hobbies, things that you enjoy. So if you like to go on hikes, there's a number of hiking groups you can join. And then you go and they'll have dates set that they're going to go hiking, and you can go meet the group, go hiking, meet new people, do those fun things that you want to do. And that's going to raise you, that's going to put you where you're at, and then you'll then be able to attract that person. Because they're saying the first thing is to get yourself out and get yourself having fun again, enjoying life again. They're saying it's time to get out. It's time to start living again. Because when you start living again, that's going to pull in the person, pull in the things that you desire. That's also going to get the momentum going to pull the person in that, because for many of you, you want to love life, you want a relationship, some of you even have someone in mind, but to pull them in, to get that momentum, because you want movement, you want them moving in your direction, you need to get your life moving forward first. So if you start moving forward in your life and you get out, you start enjoying things, you start doing new things, you will be a magnet to pull them in. And the last card you have is purpose, and it says at the bottom, I know what I'm here to do. You have a purpose, you have a divine calling. Many of you have been preparing for that. You've been studying, you've been growing, you've been evolving. Many of you have taken classes, but they're now encouraging you to start doing those things. Now, it may not be an initial jumping out of your full-time career. I wouldn't advise that. We've all got to pay. I mean, even though we're spiritually grown and evolved, we still have to pay our bills. We still have to feed ourselves and our families. You know, we and our kids and our dogs and pets, we all like food. And we like air conditioning when it's really hot, and we like these things. So we still need to pay for those bills and things in the 3D realm. So for a number of you, it's going to be initially just venturing out to start just trying initially things. You know, so say you want to, maybe you want to be a yoga instructor. And you're like, man, I've been learning all about it. I've been taking classes. I'm now certified to become a yoga instructor. Well, now the angels are encouraging you to start doing that. Doesn't have to be full time, because some of you, they're saying it's you're kind of like all or nothing, but you have to ease into it, they're saying. So start out part-time. You know, find a place that's looking for a yoga instructor and start teaching 1 or 2 days a week. That's going to give you practice. That's going to build your confidence. That's also going to help you meet new people. And that's going to get you on your purpose, which is going to be making you feel fulfilled. Like, oh my gosh, I'm finally doing it. This is what I meant to do. This is what I want to do. They're encouraging you to start doing that. Baby steps. It doesn't have to be all in, but baby steps. And they're saying that you will feel your heart burst with joy if you allow yourself to ease into it and start doing that. Okay. So, have an enjoyable month, Leos. Okay, Saggies, let's see. Oh, wow. You guys are the ones with the 3 cards. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all these in. Might have to move yours around a bit. Okay. Stand up. All right. Okay, I forgot to mention at the beginning, if any of you that are listening to this, one of you wouldn't mind time stamping in the comments below, I'd appreciate it, because I will not have time to go back and listen to everyone's readings in order to time stamp them, so I would appreciate the help with that. Okay, Saggies, let's see here. So you have your central issue, and you have these cards, which is what it is that you're refusing to see or refusing to acknowledge, and then you have the cards as far as what the angels are recommending that you do this month in order to make it to the other side, to get through this. Now, you have soul retrieval. Okay, you're the first sign that has multiples. You have 2 3s. So you're craving a change, you're craving something new. 2 3s is also about news. It can sometimes be about gossip, but they're saying for you it's news, it's information. You have Archangel Gabriel, so news you're sharing, news you're receiving. Oh, news that you're sharing, okay. Soul retrieval. So soul retrievals, we do soul retrievals when we're trying to recover part of our souls, part of ourselves. It can be, you know, recovering our innocence or our energy or our enthusiasm, joy, our optimism. But it's recovering that piece that we have been missing in order to make ourselves whole again. So sometimes when I'll do healing sessions, almost every healing session there has to be some type of soul contract cancellation, but a lot of times there has to also be a soul retrieval. So say someone that had sexual abuse or physical abuse as a child. What will often happen is they won't have memories as a child. So, you know, maybe up to 6 years old, they don't remember anything, because maybe at 6 years, that's when everything peaked and hit this moment where part of their soul splintered off. Part of the soul will splinter off because they can't take it anymore. So in order to keep the soul here in the body, continuing to do what they're intended to do here in this lifetime, part of the soul will splinter off so that the whole soul doesn't splinter off. Because if the whole soul splinters off, then, you know, physically here in the physical realm, that person passes away and they can't live and do the things that they're here to do. So part of the soul will just take off. Now, that can happen in instances, you know, something very traumatic as a child. That can happen like when I had my blast experience in Afghanistan. Part of my soul splintered off when I had my near-death experience. But these things will happen. And typically, we'll find something that's missing in life. So say someone that was a child that may have had some abuse. When that retrieval is done, there is something that when that part of their soul is brought back that they're supposed to do. And typically when something happens as a child, it is to remember that they need to have joy. They need to have childlike joy again. They need to trust. They need to have optimism about life again. But you've had a situation where you have been going through a lot of healing, they're saying. They're saying some of you've been working diligently the past year and a half on healing. Many of you, it's been healing your heart. If you look here, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a heart in this cocoon. So they're saying for many of you, you've been working on healing your heart in order to make yourself whole again. Because you had your heart broken by a situation that you were in. Many of you, a romantic relationship that you were in. So you put your heart in this, it's kind of like a coffin. You like blacked it off. You're finally healed. There's no holes in this butterfly's wings. There's, you know, no damage. It's totally healed and recovered. You're living life, you're fluttering about, but you're doing so without heart, without love, without compassion, without emotion. You're just going through the motions at this point. Because your heart is still in a box. When we have this card, this is reminding us that we are indeed whole again. We are no longer fragmented. We have successfully recovered that part of our soul. And you have done a lot of healing, but the part of your soul, your heart, you still have... Okay, so for some of you, they're saying that you have not allowed yourself to open your heart again. You have not allowed yourself to open your heart, open your emotions, out of fear of being hurt again. For some of you, you could have, you know, gotten into a relationship, but you're not emotionally into it. You're feeling, they're saying like you're feeling dead inside because your heart's still in this coffin because of a prior hurt. Because this card also reminds us to, you know, stop focusing on the old wounds, the old hurts. It's time for us to let that go. It's time for us to move forward on a new path. So for some of you, you had your heart broken by someone. You shoved your heart into a coffin. You're like, nope, I'm not going to feel that anymore. I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. But because you have closed off your heart, you are lacking joy. You are lacking happiness, enthusiasm. It's just lacking in your life. There's something missing, something that you desire, but something that you don't yet have because of not allowing your heart to be free, not regaining. And they're saying it's not even regaining your heart because it's not a soul retrieval to regain your heart, but it's a So for some of you, it's like allowing yourself to open your heart to love, to someone new. It is time to open up to someone new. It's time to pull your heart out of that coffin, that cage, that containment. Now, some of you, they're saying, it's almost like two sides of the coin. Some of you, you are in a relationship with someone where they have put your heart in like a coffin, in a cocoon. Because I'm hearing that there's that fish, that dory fish, and she says, you know, I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy. Come here, Squishy. Come here, little Squishy. Some of you, you are in a relationship where this person almost like wants to control you, contain you. You feel They're saying for some of you, you are in this relationship where you feel trapped, you feel stuck, you want out of it. It's not fulfilling you. It's not bringing you happiness. You want to pull yourself out of that. You want to revive your soul. You want to separate your soul from that person, that relationship. But the thing is, okay, you have these 4 cards. You have Hilarion. So you have 2 major arcanas. You have a minor, 2 minors. So Hilarion. So you see he is, should be close enough. Okay. So he's standing here, he's reading this book of life, and he has these 2, 4, he's got these actually 6 souls that are all around him that are trying to talk to him. So he's reading the book of life, he's reading the Akashic records, he's reading of what he's here to do, what he's destined to do, his greatness that he is destined for, that he's fated for. He's getting all this spiritual communication from the other side. This card's about truth. It's about logic, healing, knowledge. You know, sometimes this card can be indicative of the fact that we are refusing to see the truth. Maybe we are thinking very illogically about an issue or situation, or maybe we are deceiving ourselves about a situation or a person, you know, looking at things and thinking they're one way when they're really a different way. But this card's also about refusing to open up the communications. Then you have 6 of Roses, and this is the War of Roses. And they're out on a battlefield, and you've got this team, and you got this one. Okay. You got these 3 flags. This card is about, you know, a war that is going on within a relationship. So for some of you that you are in a relationship with someone where you are feeling as though they have you contained, they have you trapped, they're controlling you, they're manipulating you, there is a war going on in that relationship. There is a battle. There's a power play. This can also be about unrequited love, lack of communication, a battle that we are having within our hearts, being torn between 2 people, some of you being torn between 3 people, being indecisive, unable to make a decision. Then you have Archangel Gabriel, and this is a major arcana. Archangel Gabriel is the divine messenger. This card's about peaceful communications, positive communications. It's also about being able to communicate the truth. He's carrying this horn. He's got these 2 birds outstretched. Birds are all about communications. He communicates the truth honestly. This is also about letting us know that we will be able to easily communicate our emotions, our feelings, our true desires without any fear of how that conversation will go, because it will go positively. And then you have this 3 of Swords, and at the bottom it says heartache. And this really is, it's heartache, it's tears, it's rejection. It's about breakups, it's about affairs. It's about breaking up with someone who we thought we could trust. It's about, you know, finally seeing the truth of a situation, which sometimes can be heartbreaking. And these 4 cards are about, you know, what is it that you are refusing to see or you are refusing to acknowledge. And they're saying there's like 2 sides. Okay. So for some of you, there is a relationship that you are in. You're not happy with this relationship. You feel stuck. You feel trapped. You do not feel the love. You've enjoyed the person's company, but there's not this deep love. You want to free your heart. You want that. But you're being divinely guided to break it off. You're being divinely guided that that's not your path. That's not where you're meant to be, because you see he's on his own. But you're refusing to have that conversation. Because again, this card's about opening up communications. You're refusing to open up the communications because you're fearful that, oh my gosh, this is going to be a downright battle. It's going to be ugly. But you've already been having difficulties in battles. There's already been a lot of things between the 2 of you that's not been said. They're saying the battle lines have already been drawn. Some of you are on a break right now from this person, but you haven't finally ended it. You haven't finally laid down your sword. You haven't finally shared the communications. They're saying blown the trumpet and called it over, ended it. Because again, this card's about breakups. You're refusing to have the conversation and break it off with this person officially. Some of you are afraid of doing that because you're fearful of... Some of you are fearful of hurting that person. Some of you are fearful of like what that person will say to you. Like they'll be cold, very cold and cutthroat with their words and their treatment. And some of you just don't want to be the bad guy and have it, because you've got 2-3 of the cards about communications and breaking up and having this conversation because you're just not on the same page. But it's time to end that relationship. You're refusing to do that, which is why you're feeling stuck. Now, for others of you, the other side of the coin is you've done all this healing. You're this beautiful butterfly. Look at all the complexity on the wings, the colors, very vibrant. You're ready to release your heart from the cage that it's been in during this time of healing. So it's in a cocoon. You've been healing your heart past year and a half. Okay, your heart's healed. You're ready to fly. You're ready to move into, they're saying that you know someone. There's someone that you want to move into a relationship with. You know that this person, so for many of you it's a divine relationship, could be a twin flame, could be a very high level soulmate. You know that this is your destiny. This person is your meant to be. You know that you are being called into their direction. But the thing is, you are not having those conversations. You're being divinely guided. You're getting lots of signs and messages from your grandmother. Okay, so you're getting a lot of signs and messages from your loved ones on the other side. Someone or some of you out there, it's a grandmother that's giving you a lot of push. But your loved ones, your angels, your guides, they're pushing you in the direction of your destiny. They're pushing you toward this person that you are meant to be with. But you are not having that conversation because they're saying there's like you're torn in your heart. The reason that you are torn in your heart, you see these flags? So you've got these soldiers over here and these over here. They have their flag. You know, flags are banners. That's all about communications. Communicating. Blue is all about truth. But you see, this flag is kind of just down. It's not raised high. It's not raised high with pride. But this flag's trampled on. It's thrown on the ground. So this person, you have a past with them. It did not end on a positive note. For some of you, you caused that person heartache. And that's why so green is all about love and passion and connection. So this person, they opened their heart up to you completely. They loved you. They so passionately wanted to build something with you. But you didn't want anything with them. For some of you, you chose to go build something with someone else. So they finally gave up and threw their flag down. So you have come to this point where you're like, okay, I finally see things. I see that they're the one. But I really hurt them. I really broke their heart. And I don't think they want anything to do with me now because they're done. They've thrown their flag on the ground. They aren't fighting for this anymore. They've pressed on. They've moved on to someone else. This is dead. This is over. And some of you are fearful, because this card's also about rejection. You're fearful because of things. Maybe you did have battles with that person in the past, but there was heartache. And they're saying, Sagittarius, that a number of you caused the heartache on their end. So now you want to come in with your announcements, with how you feel. You want to communicate that, but you are refusing to communicate that because you are fearful that the conversation won't go well. But this is a card saying the conversation will go well. It will go positively. You're fearful that you will be rejected. But they're saying for many of you, you aren't seeing the truth of the situation. Because they're showing me an image of this whole team of angels, and they're like pushing, and you've got some of them pulling you forward. They're taking you in this person's direction because you think that it's dead, that there's no chance, but you don't realize that there is. But it's all about communication. You are refusing to communicate. So what the angels are recommending that you do this month. You have, okay. So they say there are two. So for some of you, it is breaking up with someone. For some of you, it is moving into a new relationship with someone. For some of you, it's actually both. It's breaking up with someone and then moving forward with someone else. Like slam the door on one, open the door for another. So the first card you have is looking deeper. Because there's something that you're not seeing. So at the bottom of this card, it says, deep within me is a majestic radiance. And you see this diamond floating above these mountains. And mountains are all about, climb. I didn't notice that before. That's funny. Okay, so mountains are all about difficulty. I'm going to have to climb that mountain. Oh my gosh, how am I going to overcome that mountain? So you have this divine love. You're ready to open up your heart to this person, but you're kind of like, how am I going to overcome the trials and such of the past? Because I don't see how that's going to work. What the angels were telling me is there's a shooting star. Things may have gone cold because of the past. Things may have iced over. But those feelings that person felt for you, they are still there. Because this card is about things not being as they seem. Something that you thought was closed, that was over, that was dead, that was finished, in fact, is ready for renewal. It is ready to start. It is ready to open up. Her heart is ready to thaw out. The love is still there beneath the surface. He may have iced over because of things that transpired in the past, but this is a meant to be. This is a fated, destined. They're saying this is for a number of you, this is a twin flame connection. It can't be fought on your end or their end. They still love you deeply. You just don't know that. This card also sometimes is about, taking a look at something that you may have looked past or overlooked in the past. But everything is still there. They're saying it's not going to be as difficult as you imagine. You're imagining like this massive hike up a mountain where there's a high probability of you falling off the side to your demise. But that's not going to happen. This is wishing upon a star. And your dreams will come true. You have to trust that. And they're saying take that leap of faith. Because it's interesting, those cards that were all about what you're refusing to see or acknowledge was about communication. You are, Sagittarius, you are stuck no matter which side of the fence you're on because you are refusing to communicate the truth. They're saying you have finally seen the truth yourself because you have gone through this healing the past year and a half. You've not only gone through emotional healing, but you have also gone through a spiritual healing and a spiritual transformation. So now you're ready. You're better than you've ever been. They're saying, though, you're still kind of beating yourself up, though, because you're not realizing what a gem you are. But you're there. You're ready. But you're not communicating anything. And that's why you're stuck. Now, for those of you that have to end a relationship, you have this release toxic relationships. And you're in this relationship that, again, it's out of balance. It's totally out of whack. It's filled with discord, disharmony. I mean, the scales are not at all balanced. Like, you're giving a lot and they're not. But they're saying you're not giving your heart because you're not into it emotionally, which isn't fair to them. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to anyone. There's been a lot of arguments, a lot of strife, a lot of difficulty. You're not on the same page with each other. There's no harmony in this relationship. You are feeling depleted. That's funny. It's always interesting because the angels always point things out to me in cards that I have never noticed before. Look at this card. You see how like there's a flame on top? So you are in a relationship that is not good for you. Meanwhile, you have a twin flame. The person who is truly indeed your other half. That's this one. But you're staying in this toxic relationship instead of releasing that person and moving forward with the one that you're destined to be with. You cannot be with your twin. You cannot be with the one that you're destined and fated to be with until you end the toxic relationship. For some of you, it is in fact relationships that need to be released. But those of you that you need to release someone, or some people, or past, you know, because the relationships have been very difficult. They've been very trying. They have left you feeling empty, you feeling cold, you feeling unappreciated, unloved. And they're saying like the relationship or relationships have been totally out of balance. They're saying for many of you, you know, you give and they don't, but very toxic. Next card you have is freedom. And at the bottom it says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Now, they want, of course they do. Okay. They want me to read this for you real quick. Because for many of you, you have given your power to this person. You're allowing them to, like, you're fearful of having the conversation because they will guilt you or they will make you feel bad. So you're buckling to the things that they desire. Okay, your soul is open to receiving new wisdom and insights that will allow it to make the right choices for its own growth. Remember, you are never a victim of other people or their circumstances. You have complete control over your own choices. By following your heart and being authentic to yourself, you present the real you to the world. Making decisions based on other people's expectations is not the true path to happiness. You are responsible for creating your own reality. When a soul shifts to a place of honoring itself in its totality, free from judgment, only then will it find its true freedom. And Saggies, you all love some freedom. Every soul is unique and follows its own path. Don't give in to peer pressure or the urge to fit in. You are the only one who truly knows the real you. So feel free to march to the beat of your own drummer. Okay. You guys are the ones. Okay. So, Archangel Michael had me pull out his deck. For those of you that like to know about decks, this deck is by Doreen Virtue. So he told me earlier, grab his deck, and I'm like, oh, you want me to pull these for everyone? He said, no, I'll let you know which signs. So apparently there's a couple signs that are going to get these, and you, Saggies, are one. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's funny. Okay, so the Saggies, those of you that are, they're encouraging you to move into this divine relationship. For many of you that it's a twin flame. And even those of you that, you know, you're dreading having a conversation to break this and end this relationship. You're so worried about it. Both sides of the house. You have a favorable outcome. And if you see, he's got the scales and they are balanced. Thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. Things will turn out positively, Saggies. So hopefully that helps you. I do wish all of you an amazing month filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.